But Khamzat Chimaev, an incredible fighter, very, very, very tough fighter. You know, has been hit with a few tests. Obviously, you know, myself, obviously Burns. So, and he's passed. So, I'm excited to see how that fight goes with himself.
I would give DDP the advantage over Khamzat right now. Not to bet on it.
It's hard to say
it's
because
hard,
we don't know what happens.
There's so many question marks. We don't know.
Khamzat just shoots from like 15 feet away and gets a hold of your legs.
Khamzat Chimaev's training clips reveal his fierce intensity and tireless work ethic. Whether striking, wrestling, or conditioning, he maintains relentless pressure and full-speed effort. His grappling remains dominant, while his striking shows sharp improvement with aggressive combinations. The mindset he brings to training clearly reflects the drive behind his rapid UFC rise. However, Kamaru Usman praised Khamzat Chimaev as a tough, skilled competitor who's already proven himself in high-level bouts, including against Usman and Gilbert Burns. He expressed enthusiasm for Chimaev's upcoming fight with Dricus du Plessis, calling it a clash between two gritty, determined fighters. Usman highlighted their heart and toughness, saying it's one of the matchups he's most excited to see.
But Khamzat Chimaev, an incredible fighter, very, very, very tough fighter. You know, has been hit with a few tests. Obviously, you know, myself, obviously Burns. So, and he's passed. So, I'm excited to see how that fight goes with himself and Dricus du Plessis. I think that's a phenomenal fight. Both guys tough, extremely tough. So, that's one of the fights I'm looking forward to the most this year.
Chimaev's training showcases his mental toughness and relentless drive. He trains multiple times daily without showing fatigue, excelling in high-pressure drills and sparring. Coaches call him one of the hardest workers they've seen, underscoring the discipline behind his rise and his reputation as a dangerous contender. On the other hand, Ariel Helwani shared his thoughts on Dricus du Plessis, highlighting his ability to get stronger as the fight progresses. He acknowledged the early rounds could be tough against someone like Khamzat Chimaev, but emphasized Plessis's knack for making mid-fight adjustments. Helwani believes that if the bout reaches the later rounds, du Plessis's adaptability could become a key factor and potentially shift the momentum in his favor.
Yeah. It's one
now,
of the
which
great
direction are you putting that now? Are you transferring that to
DDP? I think DDP figures it out. I think he takes him to deep water and he figures it out. And I think it's like a learning lesson for him and all this stuff.
Dominick Cruz also praised Dricus du Plessis for his technical skill, highlighting his fluid movement and effective stance switches. He noted that du Plessis's composure under pressure could pose problems for Chimaev's aggressive, grappling-heavy style. While past opponents have often been overwhelmed early, Cruz believes du Plessis's calm and tactical approach may help him handle Chimaev's intensity more effectively.
Man, I actually really like Dricus right now, the way he's looking. Like I said in the Schmo interview, he doesn't really stay on the center line. His striking and the stance switch really supports him in the rest of the takedown defense. Because as long as you don't sit right in front of a guy consistently, it's hard to get a hold of the legs and shoot on you. So he's also very big and strong, so I think he can challenge the strength of Chimaev in the first 2 rounds, which a lot of people haven't been able to rival. Just the strength alone has been too much, and I think Dricus is sturdy enough and big enough he can challenge it, but I will say I think it might be the toughest fight of his career so far.
Jack Hermansson recognized Khamzat's explosive start and early dominance, but pointed out that Dricus du Plessis could turn the tide if he survives the initial pressure. He anticipates a competitive, drawn-out battle battle rather than a quick finish, noting that the outcome may hinge on Du Plessis' ability to push the fight into the later rounds. Hermansson suggested that if it goes deep, Chimaev's cardio could be tested, giving Du Plessis an opportunity to take control.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be an amazing fight, and I think Khamzat is gonna pull it off. But I do think that, especially early, I think it's gonna be tough for Dricus. But if he can push the fight into the later rounds, I think he can have an advantage. So it's going to be a really interesting one. But I will bet my money on Khamzat in that one. But not like some people think that he's just going to run him over. But I think it's going to be a tough fight.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's really interesting, especially like you said, if it goes into the later rounds. We've seen DDP go 5 rounds. I know he does look tired, right? Like he has this weird style where he kind of looks like he slows down, but he's
always
going 5
there,
rounds though, right? Like that's something that's kind of interesting. Where I don't believe Chimaev has before. So.
No, exactly, and we have seen like in was it like the Burns and the Usman fight where he looks a little bit more tired in the later rounds. So yeah.
How was it? I know this was a couple of years ago, but how was it wrestling him, like just from the strength perspective? Because obviously he used to fight at 170, he's at 85 now, but I hear that he is very strong for the weight class. What was it like when you got to wrestle him that one time?
Nah, he's really, really good, technical and super, super strong. He looks like a tall, lanky guy, but he feels like a super, super strong guy. He has amazing strength in his grips, and he's something special, So
Jason Mim also weighed in, calling Khamzat Chimaev a tough challenge for Dricus Du Plessis. He described Chimaev as a unique mix of sharp European striking and high-level grappling, making him difficult to prepare for. Mayhem questioned whether Du Plessis could defend takedowns, maintain forward pressure, and stay active offensively. He also stressed that cardio could play a key role in determining the outcome.
Khamzat, this kind of thing is, all right, so now do you counter wrestle? Do you find your striking exchanges working when you push the guy backwards? And can you do that without overshooting and getting taken down? Do you want to get taken down and make a scramble and this? No, probably not. Du Plessis has work cut out for him. Like, he has to kind of figure this enigma out of a dude who can kickbox pretty good with this European style kickboxing and also really high level grappling. I don't know. I think it'll come down to who's in the best shape, who's the best conditioned. That's really the end of that. Happy birthday, August 16th. We're going to see that one.
Mayhem added that he slightly favors Chimaev due to his strong wrestling foundation, noting that starting grappling early gives him an edge in control and energy management. While he acknowledged Du Plessis' power, he pointed out that it appears to come more from muscle than natural size, potentially a drawback if the fight stays grounded. Mayhem concluded that if Chimaev plays to his strengths, he has a clear path to victory, though an upset remains possible.
Yeah, Chimaev, because he has like this special ingrained, and I say this because you start the kids young and they just get a little extra something, there's a little bit of extra feel. There's another 10,000 hours put on top of their athleticism because they've been doing this for so long, grappling especially. And Du Plessis is an excellent grappler, but what it comes down to is being able to relax during those grappling exchanges and not use that much energy. His body is big, but he's like a bigger human being, not necessarily just a big muscle-bound guy like Du Plessis. He's like Du Plessis has the frame of a lighter man, but has put on muscle to compete at the higher weight class. Chimaev might have an edge, might be an upset there.
Robert Whittaker praised Khamzat Chimaev's takedowns, calling them both explosive and technically difficult to stop. However, he also highlighted Dricus Du Plessis' resilience and grit, noting that he's not an easy fighter to put away. Whittaker believes that if Du Plessis can survive the early storm, his toughness and persistence could help turn the tide and give him a real chance to win.
Khamzat and DDP, the next fight. Who do you think's going to walk away as the champion?
I can't see anyone really stopping Chimaev's takedowns. His takedowns are so hard to stop. It's super high level. Can DDP drag it into those later rounds? Can it get through the first grappling exchanges and then start to capitalize on his just like persistence, like doggedness to go away? Honestly, if Chimaev can't get DDP out of there, DDP wins. DDP wins almost every fight. You can't get rid of him, right? Because he's like bold, baby.
However, Henry Cejudo acknowledged Khamzat Chimaev's finishing ability, but didn't expect a quick win against Dricus du Plessis. He pointed to du Plessis' scrambling pressure and relentless pace as challenges Chimaev will need to navigate. Cejudo emphasized the importance of energy management for Chimaev over 5 rounds. While he previously viewed du Plessis as unrefined, he now respects his work rate and toughness, calling him a legitimate test for Chimaev.
Does Khamzat beat DDP? And Khamzat could beat anybody in the world in about a round. Super impressed with what he did to Robert Whittaker. I don't see that against DDP. DDP's scrambly, man. You're gonna need to really be able to pace yourself for 5 rounds. And with DDP's train just continue to keep rolling and he's still steaming and his train's still hot. It depends on how long DDP wants to take a break. You're gonna have to prepare, man, for a guy like DDP. You're gonna need a 3-rounder or a 5-rounder to get ready, but I don't see it. I just don't see it. I think DDP's too, I used to think he was the sloppiest thing on planet Earth, and I thought the same thing about Rob until they bring that volume and just the tenacity, and it changes everything.